Hey guys, I'm Felix, and welcome back to another video, but especially welcome back to my humble garage. In today's video, we're going to be removing the entire rear suspension, and yeah, once the body's painted and the engine's back in, I'll be throwing on these VMS wheels. They're wider than stock, and they look fire, but what do you guys think? As I was saying, we're going to be removing the entire rear suspension, cleaning all of the undercarriage of the car so we can paint it with Rust-Oleum Automotive rubberized undercoating matte spray paint black. I'm not sponsored, but I want to share with all of you the products and parts I picked to build and fully restore my car. And I'll always keep it real with you guys so you get straight up honest reviews, not just hype to make you buy something that isn't worth it. So now we'll pull out the rear lower control arm by taking off those bolts, then move on to the trailing arm, the tow rod, the brake line, and finally the coilover. Pretty basic steps, but trust me, this teardown's gonna get good, so stick around. I really recommend throwing on some safety glasses for this step. As you can see, I'm struggling to keep my eyes open without dirt flying straight into them. Protect your eyes, so don't risk it. Now it's pretty much the same process we did on the other side, but first we've got to pull the wheel, pop off the parking cable lock pin, then take out the brake caliper, pads, disc, the hub nut, and even the heat shield before tackling the rest. Let's spray on some citrus degreaser now, then hit the trailing arms with the pressure washer. Now we're moving on to pulling out the rear sway bar, then the fuel filler neck plastic covers, and finally the filler neck itself once we pop those clamps off. Step by step, the back end's getting stripped down, and trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next. The fuel tank's coming out now, and I'll be draining the old gas that was still inside. Once it's empty, we'll hit it with some citrus degreaser and blast it clean with the pressure washer. You can see how dirty and dusty it is. Years of grime built up on here, but don't worry, we're about to bring it back to life. I picked up this citrus degreaser at Home Depot, and honestly, it's pretty solid stuff. I definitely recommend it for cleaning just about anything, but heads up, it's not plastic or acrylic friendly, so do not spray it on your headlights or taillights ever. Little tips like this save you headaches later, so stick around for more. And finally, let's pull the ABS sensors and disconnect the brake and fuel lines so we've got full access to spray down the undercarriage. Of course, we'll hit it first with the good old citrus degreaser, the best, the classic you already know, then blast it clean. Time for round 2, hitting it again with citrus degreaser and blasting it down with the pressure washer. Gotta make sure every bit of grime is gone. Okay, time to bring out the 20-ton press. We'll use it to knock out the arm bushings and press out the spindle knuckles. This is the heavy-duty part of the teardown, so stick around because it only gets crazier from here. To strip off the old factory paint and clean up those little rust spots, we're sandblasting the trailing arms and spindle knuckles. That way the surface is fresh and ready for paint. Now we're wiping everything down with Prep All Wax and grease remover, getting rid of any oil or fingerprints so the primer sticks exactly how it should. Little details like this make all the difference. Time to lay down a coat of primer and let it dry, locking in that fresh surface so we're ready for the next step. But while the primer's drying, we'll sandblast the edges and borders, making sure this build is completely rust-free. No shortcuts here, this car's getting the full treatment. The primer's been curing for 24 hours, so now it's time to hit it with 3 coats of matte black and 2 coats of clear. But don't worry, I'll save you from watching the full hour it took to spray all that. You'll see it all go down in just a few seconds. Next morning, after letting the undercarriage dry overnight, it's time to mask the whole car to avoid overspray. Then we're laying down 3 coats of Rust-Oleum automotive rubberized undercoating in matte black. And the best part? I grabbed it at Walmart for the lowest price I could find anywhere. Don't miss this, because this is where the undercarriage gets that tough, clean finish. And this is how it looks after 3 beautiful coats of that Rust-Oleum undercoating. Clean, tough, and looking brand new. I know some people swear by Raptor products, but for this build, I went with what you just saw me use, and I'm more than happy with the results, so stick around because the transformation's only getting better from here. Alright guys, quick tip for when you're spraying. The best time to remove your masking is while the paint is still tacky, not fully cured. That's usually about 30 to 60 minutes after your final coat, depending on the temp and humidity. If you wait too long and let it fully dry, the paint can bond to the tape edges, and when you peel it, you risk lifting or peeling your finish, and nobody wants that. Pro tip: always pull the tape back at a 45-degree angle to reduce tearing, and if it already dried on the tape, grab a razor blade or an X-Acto knife and lightly score the edge before peeling. That'll save your work. Take your time, work in sections, and peel slow. It's way better than having to fix peeled paint later. For this undercoating job, once that last coat flashes off but is still soft and tacky, that's your perfect window to start peeling the masking. Stick around for more tips like this. So now we're pulling the fuel hanger to swap out the old rusty fuel pump with a new one from Kemso. I grabbed it off eBay for a really good price at the time. But here's the thing, this pump is only good for an all-motor setup, and since I'm chasing boost on this build, it'll definitely get replaced with a stronger unit down the road. Here's a good tip. Once you install the new pump, throw a zip tie on it. The rubber piece doesn't hold it the way it should, and if you don't secure it, that pump can fall straight into your tank. And you definitely don't want that headache. Another thing I didn't like about this pump is it doesn't have a hose stay lip like other brands, so keep an eye out for that too. Little details like this make a big difference, so stick around for more tips that'll save your build. I grabbed this brand new fuel hose from AutoZone, but honestly, check around at your local parts stores to see who's got the best price. Just make sure you pick up the right diameter hose for your fuel pump. That detail matters. And this right here is the rubber piece I was talking about. The one that doesn't really hold the pump the way it should. I didn't do it, but it would have been perfect to secure the pump with a zip tie all around the hanger. Now it's time to drop the hanger back in with the new fuel pump installed. And don't forget to tighten all the nuts that hold it to the tank. Most important, make sure the main fuel line bolt is torqued to spec so you don't end up with a leak, and double check that the return hose is connected and clamped down tight. This little valve is the fuel tank's two-way purge. It keeps the tank from swelling, collapsing, or smelling like gas. Normally it vents into the charcoal canister, but since I'm not running one, I routed it up to the filler neck with a Spectre breather. Simple, clean, and it works, and you'll see that setup in another video, so stay tuned. Now let's get the tank back in place, but first make sure the brackets are good to reuse so you don't waste time and effort later. And here's something really important: always work with an empty or close to empty tank. Never try welding on or near a fuel tank, even if you've removed the hanger and it's been vented. Gas fumes are no joke. It's dangerous and can cause an explosion. Safety first, always. Stick around, we're keeping this build moving. Like I said before, just double checking that the fuel feed and return hoses are installed, tightened, and locked in, because the last thing you want is a fuel leak. I went ahead and poured a little dielectric grease into the plug where the wires go in. That way no moisture sneaks in down the road. And don't forget to plug in the fuel sending unit. That way we'll get accurate readings once the car's running. Simple step, but skip it and your gauge won't tell you the truth. And that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. In the next video, we'll be installing all the Truhart rear suspension components now that we've got a fresh undercarriage. This build is only getting better, so stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and don't miss what's coming next. Thank you for watching.